Or if the government is not willing to follow the processes, follow the laws, give people a chance to defend themselves and all of those things, and they just want to talk to the banks and basically cut out people's financial livelihoods without due process.
The Canadian government's efforts to choke off the flow of funds to protesting truckers in Canada illustrate why cryptocurrencies exist, Ethereum founder Vitalik Buterin said. In an interview Friday at the Ethereum Denver conference, Buterin, who grew up in Canada, described the government's response as heavy-handed and crypto as a potential check on such overreach. Last week, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's government invoked rarely used emergency powers in an effort to quash the protests. Banks and other financial service providers were authorized to freeze or suspend accounts associated with the trucker convoy without a court order and were shielded from civil liability for doing so. Supporters of the truckers have tried to circumvent the blockades by raising cryptocurrency donations. The government has blacklisted a number of crypto addresses associated with these efforts, and a court injunction ordered the funds frozen pending the outcome of a private class action lawsuit. Canada's federal police force, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, has reportedly sent letters to financial institutions, including banks and cryptocurrency exchanges, with a list of individuals and crypto addresses. According to the Countersignal, citing a letter it has obtained, among the 34 crypto addresses targeted include 29 Bitcoin addresses and 2 Ethereum addresses. The remaining 3 include Cardano, Monero, and Litecoin addresses. Let's hear what Vitalik has to say on the issue.
You're Canadian. Right now, Canada has the Emergencies Act invoked. They are blocking cryptocurrency addresses to prevent truckers protesting COVID restrictions from accessing funds. I wonder your thoughts on the whole crisis.
Yeah, I mean, that stuff's definitely getting a little crazy. I think my view on this is if you're if the truckers are blocking the roads and that's breaking the economy, fine, blocking the roads is illegal and there's laws against that. But if they're not willing to actually follow the processes, or if the government is not willing to follow the processes, follow the laws, give people a chance to defend themselves and all of those things, and they just want to talk to the banks and basically cut out people's financial livelihoods without due process. I mean, honestly, yeah, that is an example of the sort of thing that that decentralized technology is there to make more difficult. So it's also a good example of how it is definitely it's not about being lawless, right? It is in some ways it's about bringing rule of law back, right? They can still you can still go at fine people, you can still go after people, you can still go just act. The government and police can act lawfully as they always have. This concept of going after intermediaries and basically using intermediaries as a way to bypass all that, it is dangerous, and I do think that having decentralized alternatives to intermediaries is a good way to limit the damage that this kind of dependence on intermediaries can do.
The Royal Canadian Mounted Police letter to crypto exchanges demands that they cease facilitating any transactions with a list of 34 crypto wallet addresses it provides. Claiming that these wallet addresses are associated with the Freedom Convoy protests, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police wrote, "At least one wallet containing over $1 million in Bitcoin was part of the Honk Honk HODL campaign to support truckers," the publication conveyed, adding that each wallet has transacted cryptocurrencies worth between $0 and $1.1 million. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police added that any information about a transaction or proposed transaction in respect of these addresses is to be disclosed immediately to the Commissioner of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. It remains to be seen how effective these measures will be because crypto transactions cannot be vetoed, and wallets are controlled by whoever possesses the cryptographic private keys. Traditional financial institutions, including banks, reportedly also received a letter from the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. The letters to banks name about 20 people the police have identified as being involved in activities related to the Freedom Convoy protests, the Globe and Mail reported, citing a source who has reviewed the document. The letters include pictures and summaries with details about the people, some of whom were allegedly the main organizers of the protests. The Canadian Bankers Association confirmed banks have received letters about designated persons from the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Financial institutions must now disclose these customers' banking details and transaction records to the Royal Canadian Mounted Police or the Canadian Security Intelligence Service. However, they can decide themselves whether to freeze accounts or cut off services. The Canadian government has shown a tyrannical nature in dealing with the protest, and Canada right now looks more like a country under a dictatorship with the ways the government has handled the situation, instead of simply removing the mandates and restrictions that the people are clamoring for. What do you think about how the Canadian government is handling the Freedom Convoy protests? Let us know in the comments section below.
Today's episode is sponsored by iTrust Capital, the #1 crypto IRA platform in America. We allow you to invest in your favorite cryptocurrencies without worrying about taxes. That's right, iTrust Capital allows you to buy and sell your favorite cryptocurrencies completely tax-free. That means if you invest $10,000 into Cardano and it grows to $100,000, all of your profits are tax-free. Why is it tax-free? We took the existing retirement account industry and flipped it on its head. Instead of boring stocks and bonds, you can invest in crypto. How is it secured? Through Coinbase Custody, one of the leading cold storage providers with a $320 million insurance policy to protect against theft, hacks, and loss of funds. Roll over your existing retirement account, or even start a new one from scratch. Questions? Schedule a free call with one of our crypto retirement account specialists, and they can help you discuss your options. Start your crypto IRA today and retire early, only at iTrust Capital. Click the link in the description to open a free account now.
Please don't forget to smash the like button. Thanks for watching.